To get a better understanding of what else is going to be going on, let's take a look at some of these other things. Yeah, you see 1, 2, 3, you see multiple squares, right? Because what we're looking at is the sun days before the eclipse. Okay, remember the eclipse is May 26. Days before the eclipse, the sun would have been at, it moves 1 degree a day. So that would be 4 degrees, 3 degrees, I'm going backwards, 2 degrees, 1 degree, 1 degree a day. Well, Jupiter, that's where you see the squares coming from, because this is mutable, and so is this. Mutable, mutable, mutable. Mutable signs are Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Gemini are 90 degrees away from each other, which means they square each other. Jupiter will be squaring Gemini. Gemini's information, the media, the news. This is your coworkers. How many of your coworkers bring you what you think is the news? How many of your online fans or online friends or, your Facebook buddies post things and you think it's the news? We've got Jupiter, which is going to expand Pisces energy. In Vedic astrology, traditional astrology, Jupiter is the ruler of Piscean energy. Well, what is Piscean energy? It's a very creative energy. It can manipulate. It can change. It can morph. It's like, it's water. Think about water. Try to grab it. Try to punch it. It's elusive. So if you combine that with information, it can make it very fuzzy, very confusing. This will be before the eclipse. If you have any Gemini energy or any Sagittarius energy and Virgo energy, these would be the squares. What is Jupiter squaring? Typically, a Jupiter square isn't always bad. Jupiter is very powerful in Pisces. Remember, it's going to bring the water, make all the details very fuzzy, but the waters that it brings are typically murky, so it's very good as a creative energy. It's great for the movies, for fantasy, for sci-fi. That is the way to use this sort of energy. Very creative. You may say one thing, and if you present it as truth, people look at you like you're nuts. If you present it as fantasy and make-believe, then people can get into it. Then they're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. It's not what's being said, it's how it's presented. Think about that. So this would be May 19th. Jupiter is aspecting the sun very strongly. So keep in mind, the sun is authority figures. It could be beneficial, which means it's likely because Jupiter usually likes to benefit and bring gifts, and Pisces is sacrifice. This is our values, our money, our resources. Pisces and Taurus get along very well. They can make something together. Water and earth make mud, and mud can make a home. See how this is 2842? That's technically 29 degrees. And that at 29 degrees, that's a critical point, right? And so we always, if you follow the planets, typically when something hits 29, we usually hear something. Jupiter is a very slow-moving planet. It's going to actually go backwards. It has to retrograde back into Aquarius. Look what else is in the sign of information. This is another factor, another big factor. We've got Venus at 21 degrees in Gemini, and we've got Mercury 24 degrees in Gemini. Actually, all this stuff in Gemini, the sun, as it travels along, it'll end up trining Saturn, which is another supportive energy, explaining that yes, this is long-term good for the people. This will be trining. The sun will be trining that. That'll be lovely. Venus earlier in the month and Mercury earlier in the month would have been trining this. I'm at May 20th, right? That other date I gave out about the money and Taurus being sextiled, remember? I was talking about Jupiter, but look what else. We've got Venus, money, right there trining Saturn. This is another supportive indicator for a benefit for the group, and it's gifts, because Venus brings gifts, but it's talks and communication. Doesn't mean we're going to get a check in the mail. You know how that goes, guys. But this does look wonderful. One was Mercury trining Saturn, and there it is. Mercury at 1141. Mercury conjunct the moon's nodes. That's May 10th. That's actually a trine. Lovely. Trines at ease. It's 120 degrees away. This is air. This is air. Matching elements, trine. Matching energy, squares. I know it's... So what else do we see? Fascinating. The moon will be conjunct Chiron. The moon moves very fast, but it'll be conjunct Chiron. Doesn't that tell such a fascinating story? Because that sextile from the people in charge and the rules, that sends relief in some way. Hopefully, information about the virus. Aquarius is the vaccine. So hopefully this is some more good information that will bring people's minds at ease about what's going on, especially about the vaccine. We always got to see what Mars is up to. So you guys already heard about when Mars went into the sign of Cancer. Cancer, on a small level, is your family, it's your mom, it's feminine energy. On a large scale, it's the public. It is our emotions. And so Mars being there can elevate emotions. But remember that it is your physical home as well. And Mars is the physical body. She said humans are like tea bags. You never know how strong they are until they are submerged in hot water. Eleanor Roosevelt